Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. There are so many reasons that XRP just wins. As one XRP pundit within our community put it, XRP may become, and I quote, one of the most liquid assets on earth, end quote. And you'll see why by the end of this video. And look, I want to say this too at the outset. I don't solely count on Ripple to drive the price of XRP. In fact, for the nearly 6 years I've been in crypto, I haven't expected Ripple to drive the price of XRP in any meaningful way. The fact of the matter is that Bitcoin is the greatest driver of XRP price action. However, in a more mature market, developer activity for any cryptocurrency will be of critical importance, and as it turns out, XRP has an abnormally high level of adoption and utility. It's completely rare. But you know what the cool thing is? Even if there were only one use case for XRP, just one, that would be enough to ensure long-term viability of XRP. Because if something's useful, humans don't just throw it away just because there's only one thing it's useful for. Of course not. And so even with just what Ripple is doing, that's enough for long-term viability for XRP. Now, of course, the more developers, the better. The more use cases, the better, because more developers will attract more attention and obviously more money over time. Of course, that's a no-brainer. But I state this to make the broad point that XRP is clearly here to stay, because it solves problems today. There are so many reasons that XRP just wins. But before going further, because I do want to break down some of the stuff that's come out of Ripple's Swell event, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, I do want to point out, at the time that I'm recording this, XRP is 69 cents, and there's been this theory. I mentioned this in my last video, but since I'm talking about Swell more in depth in this video, I want to at least give a blurb on this. The price of XRP, it has not, to this point anyway, been impacted by Swell in any detectable way. There's a lot of suspicion by many people in the community, and I'm not one of the people. I was pushing back against this narrative, but there are a lot of people in the community saying XRP's been climbing. It's because of Ripple's Swell. And so I dug in to 6 years worth of data and showed that actually that only happened one of those years. It was in 2018, XRP ran up, and then when Swell started and news broke that XRapid was launching using XRP as a bridge currency, then the price started going back down because the price was already baked into that rumor. But we didn't see that any other year, and we're not seeing it this year. It's a false narrative that I keep seeing year after year after year. Swell pumps the price of XRP. I keep hearing it, but I was like, does it really? Because it never seemed to be true. And so I dug into the data, and it's never been the case except for in 2018. So could it still plummet? It could. Is that the most probable thing to occur? No. We've got 6 data points. That's enough to show a trend of no. It happened one time. It was an outlier, if anything, at this point. So if it does happen, yes, I'll cede the point. But even leading up to this event, what is most reasonable to suppose now that you have the data? Is it most reasonable to suppose that the price would actually ramp up purely because of this and crater back down? Well, I would argue no. And we've just seen XRP move sideways here, which is fantastic. And frankly, even aside from the news, there are so many analysts out there that were calling for this type of activity, not based on news or that Swell was going to occur, not because of that. They just saw it in the charts. And wouldn't you know, the analysts, so many of them happen to see it at the same time. It did happen. XRP moved to the upside. And then the narrative at hand, it's applied as the reason for, oh, wow, Ripple Swell, that's got to be it. Well, then why isn't it dumping now? Buy the rumor, sell the news, right? And look, if it does, and I'm wrong, fine. And I'll highlight that, but I still don't think it's the most probable thing to believe going in because we have 6 data points and it happened once. That's all I'm saying. But take a look at this. Here's a headline from Cointelegraph. This is one of the bigger pieces of news to break today. HSBC taps Ripple's Medico to launch security token custody. Now, just as a quick refresher, Ripple bought Medico for $250 million. This news broke in May of 2023. There's a headline on your screen from Reuters indicating as much. And so Ripple's basically just taking over the world. Anything having to do with the flow of value on the web internets, yeah, Ripple's got a piece of it effectively. And so they're doing custody for HSBC, one of the largest banks on the entire, in terms of assets, I looked it up before recording, and it was approaching, I think, $3 trillion, I want to say. It's absolutely massive here. Ripple's got their mitts on this through Medico because they own Medico now. But anyway, so check this out. Major global banking company HSBC plans to launch an institutional custody platform for tokenized securities, also known as security tokens. HSBC has partnered with Ripple-owned tech firm Medico to integrate its institutional platform Harmonize with HSBC's new custody service for digital assets, the firm announced on November 8th. The bank expects to roll out the new digital asset custody service in 2024, complementing its digital asset issuance platform known as HSBC Orion and HSBC offering for tokenized physical gold, launched on November 1st, 2023. Together, the services form a complete digital asset offering for HSBC's institutional clients, the firm said. All right, and so to be clear here, this specifically anyway, doesn't have anything to do with XRP, so this is the slightly less exciting piece. I'm going to get to what I think is the more exciting piece right after this. So it doesn't have anything to do with custody of like Bitcoin or XRP or pick your cryptocurrency, but I wanted to highlight this because, again, it's Ripple getting their mitts on something gigantic, and again, it was announced at Swell today. And it's also completely in line with what so many of us in the XRP community have been talking about for well over half a decade at this point. People are talking about this concept, certainly at least dating back to roughly the point when I jumped into crypto, which is an increasingly liquid world, an increasingly tokenized world where everything under the sun is tokenized. And stocks would be an obvious one. And there are other things as well. But the point is, you can see based on directionally where they're going here, yes, that's exactly what they're doing here. And so then if you're increasing the velocity of value moving around the planet, and since you're not going to have markets, for every single trading pair that could possibly exist on every single platform, you can't do that. There wouldn't be enough volume to justify it. You're always going to need to bridge. And there's always going to be a need for a jurisdictionless cryptocurrency like XRP that's blazing fast and is basically free for transactions because, you might as well round down to zero. That's how cheap XRP is to move. It's a fraction of a penny, and it's instantaneous. So there's always going to be a position for something like that. And so I think this is more so part of the bigger picture of just moving forward, getting closer to that world that we in the XRP community have seen coming for years, and that's what Ripple's been fighting for. It's what they call the Internet of Value. And this is just another piece of it. And so even though they're not articulating that XRP would be tying this stuff together, look at what's happening here. But there is specific XRP-related news here. In fact, there was this is from Ripple's website, their Insights blog series. This piece came out today. Ripple Payments reaches new heights. That's what they titled this. And they wrote the following. Time and time again, traditional payment rails have fallen short, and businesses have continued to turn to modern solutions to fill these gaps. More than 80% of global finance leaders say they are likely to begin using digital assets in their business in the next 3 years. And so, folks, of course, we're directionally going to keep going that way. It's just going to become the norm to have stuff bridged by cryptocurrencies. And I think the one that's going to most frequently be used would be XRP because it makes sense in the most instances. It's not backed by something like a fiat currency. It just has an open market price, so you don't have that counterparty risk. Covering this further, there was this article from Cointelegraph. Ripple, Onafric partner for new payment corridors for Africa, UK, Australia, and Gulf. Ripple will power new payment corridors between 27 African countries and Australia, the United Kingdom, and the Gulf Cooperation Council, or GCC for short, under a deal with African mobile payments provider Onafric. Onafric will use Ripple Payments blockchain technology along with 3 partnering companies. Zazi Transfer will provide transfer services for Australia. PayAngel will serve the UK. And PayPal, I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced, PYYPL, will serve GCC member states Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. And so I don't need to read the whole article, but I wanted to point out here that XRP is absolutely being used here. So ultimately, XRP is being used as a bridge currency. What's happened is we've seen that Ripple has stepped away from the on-demand liquidity branding, but they're absolutely still used. So like the functionality is still there. None of that's changed. So we don't have to worry about that. The use case obviously works, and the adoption of that has been increasing, obviously. But it's further testament to the validity of this particular use case. And like I said at the outset of the video, as long as there's at least one use case for a cryptocurrencies, if it's valuable for businesses for that use case, what, are they just going to stop using it? It's making their business models possible, reducing costs, helping their clients, and they're just going to stop using it? Well, no. And that's why the neat thing is there are so many use cases for XRP, but again, even if there were just one, it's still good. We're still money here, right? Here's what Ripple's president Monica Long had to say in a post on social media platform X. A crypto utility starts with payments, and for the last decade, Ripple's focused on key components of infrastructure: liquidity, off-ramps, tokenization, custody, and compliance required for enterprise-grade payments. Today, we're unveiling an end-to-end solution for just that. This is an evolution of our product, where our customers can tap into crypto utility without having to be an expert in using this technology. A single onboarding experience, with Ripple managing the end-to-end flow to more move value at any time as fast and low cost as possible. And as pointed out by XRP community member Wrath of Kahneman, who always does awesome write-ups and deep research on what's going on with just XRP in general, so a fair amount of it has to do with what Ripple's doing as well. He noted here that there are remaining questions. And he stated here, quote, broadly, how does this differ from previous products? End quote. A good question. And so, as Monica Long stated, this is an evolution of what, more broadly speaking, has just been known as RippleNet, including on-demand liquidity with XRP as a bridge currency. So one thing that's obvious is they're making it more turnkey. The way they've articulated what they're doing, yet that's clear. As far as the nuts and bolts, though, there hasn't been a lot to this point. So presumably by the time Swell's over, we're going to know a bit more on that front. But it just seems along the lines of just making things more customer friendly. But frequently this is the case, and it's fine. They don't owe us anything. But when it comes to the nitty gritty and a lot of the specifics, we don't know. It's just they make broad statements. They're these generalized concepts, and then and it's fine because they don't know us anything. But we're left kind of wondering, okay, but how's the sausage made? What are the specifics? And so that's why when Wrath of Kahneman writes, how does this differ from previous products? It hasn't been sufficiently articulated. But again, this is breaking news, so we'll see. More could come out. Here you have Ripple employee Neil Hartner, senior staff software engineer at Ripple working on ODL. And he writes, exciting news that Ripple will be leveraging the XRP Ledger decentralized exchange for cross-border payments. This project has been a main focus of mine this year, and I'm hoping to share more technical details in the future about why the XRP Ledger decentralized exchange is an awesome fit for ODL. Okay, so that's perhaps the thing that caught my attention the most and I'm most curious about. Because obviously, as everybody is well versed on at this point, the XRP Ledger has the world's first decentralized exchange ever. It's built in on Layer 1, and they're now utilizing that for on-demand liquidity. So we'll see exactly what that looks like. Again, when it comes to how is the sausage made, how does this link up, what are the specifics, don't know yet, but we'll be watching for that. Here's what XRP community member Panos had to say. He does all sorts of awesome write-ups. He has a fantastic blog. I've over the years covered all sorts of various things from him in perspective. And here's what he said about this. For me, the biggest takeaway from this announcement is the XRP Ledger decentralized exchange integration. Especially once the automated market maker is enabled, this will directly contribute to the decentralized exchange volume and revenue for liquidity providers. Ripple could even become a liquidity provider themselves for bigger efficiency. Now, folks, that would be interesting if it took a different form. Now, they have offered their service line of credit, so they've been offering XRP, obviously. So when he says liquidity provider here, I don't know if he must have, in terms of mechanically what that means, he probably has something specific in mind, because there are all sorts of liquidity providers, market makers, so on and so forth. Ripple keeps the gears greased, you know what I'm saying? So in terms of what form this is going to take and what Panos might be envisioning, not completely clear. But in terms of the XRP Ledger decentralized exchange being integrated with ODL, I agree. That's the thing that jumped out the most to me too. And he then said, if that happens and Ripple use a portion of their XRP for the automated market maker, and various XRP fiat stablecoin pairs, the XRP Ledger automated market maker / decentralized exchange could become the most liquid automated market maker in the world, and XRP itself could become one of the most liquid assets on Earth. Really exciting times. Well, I'll tell you what, if that happens, that would be one step closer to pushing XRP into global reserve status once the dollar loses that status, because that seems like a virtual inevitability, even if it doesn't happen in my lifetime. But I don't need to get into a whole rant about the debasement of the dollar in this particular hot jam. So what do you guys think? What's the hottest news here? Either way, it's all positive for XRP. This is all fantastic stuff here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.